Welcome back to another podcast. So we're here in the healing room, and I know it's been a long time since we've been here, but I have a special guest with me today. Aubrey, introduce yourself to the people.
Hi guys, I'm Aubrey.
So Aubrey did a dynamic talk yesterday. She talked about nutrition, and she was talking about the different aspects. She was talking about nutrition from the mouth, the gut, and the proper name for expulsion.
Yes.
And so we wanted to come here today, and I wanted to dig a little bit deeper because we are in the healing room, and we want to talk about how nutrition and how healing goes hand in hand. Mm-hmm. But before we get into that, Aubrey, can you tell us what got you into nutrition? Because you seem really interested in this talk.
Yes. So, what got me into nutrition? I'd say to start off, so I became vegetarian when I was 16. I'm 28 now. And I became vegan about 4 years ago-ish, about 24. So what got me into it was really once I became, plant-based rather. It's not vegan, plant-based. So once I got into being plant-based, I got more serious about what I was putting into my body. Whereas the reason I had become vegetarian, it was because I went to Broward Meats one day, and I saw goat heart, something like that. And I didn't know people ate that. And I was just so turned off that I just stopped eating meat from that day.
Oh, so you had a traumatic experience.
I had a very traumatic experience.
Okay, we talk about that a little bit in the healing room.
And it was crazy because we had orange chicken that night, but
Wait, where does orange chicken come from? Which part of the chicken?
Probably all of it.
Okay. So, but before you go on, tell me what was different, because you mentioned you were vegetarian, then you said you were vegan, then you were plant-based. That's a lot to keep up with. Mm-hmm. What's the difference? And what are you now? Plant-based?
Yeah, plant-based right now. So the difference with it, I'd say, between vegan and plant-based, I don't know everything about each one, but for the most part, vegan, it's what you're eating. So vegan people don't eat any animal products at all. They don't eat any animal products at all, and sometimes you have what's called an ethical vegan, where they don't wear leather, they don't wear sheep wool, anything like that, where they really care about the animals. That's not really my burden, Animals are great, but I don't. This is not my burden particularly. Okay. And plant-based, actually, I think you can still eat meat and be considered plant-based.
Really? I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
You can still eat meat and be considered plant-based?
And be considered plant-based. Because I think how the world does it is that it's mostly, that your diet is mostly plant-based.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your current diet? Do you eat the meat or do you eat the plant part?
Yeah, I just eat the plant part. So I'm only like half plant-based, I guess. But yeah, I only eat the plant part. I don't eat any meat.
Okay. So can you describe a plant-based dish to me versus a vegan or vegetarian dish?
Yes. So
what does it look like? Give us a picture of that dish. Because people tend to think that being plant-based, being vegan is boring. Mm-hmm. That you can't have, I think one time you made a Southern, and I love Southern food. You made a Southern dish. And I was like, wow, and everything. Can you tell them what it looked like? Tell them what was in it and how did it taste?
Yeah, so Southern dish I made, it was mac and cheese, where I made the cheese from coconut milk, nutritional yeast, spices, different stuff like that. And then I had some barbecue meat, which was jackfruit, which is a fruit.
Oh, nice.
And it's like you cook it in spices, and then you add barbecue sauce, and then there was steamed kale, because you gotta have your greens always. Okay. And then there was cornbread with vegan butter.
So was that dish considered plant-based or vegan?
Oh, actually.
She's about to tell us she's not really plant-based.
So that would be considered vegan.
Okay.
But if you're, because there was no egg, there was no honey, there was no anything like that. Okay. But I'd say if you want to do like a sort of side-by-side comparison type thing, let's say if you have two smoothie bowls, and you sweeten one with honey and you sweeten one with agave. The one with agave, that would be fit for the vegan.
Okay.
But the one with honey, you're not going to give that to the vegan because they wouldn't take it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So we can get a little bit more into that. So tell me why nutrition is important. Why did you take up this as your passion? Why is it so important for, saying, someone who maybe doesn't know much about nutrition, but why personally did you decide to go down this route?
So I think it's important to me, number one, because it was instilled at a very young age, just the whole thing about nutrition. Like if you're Jamaican, I think if you come from any island period, there's a there's a component of health that just stays with you for the rest of your life, right?
Okay.
So like how Jamaicans, they say ginger tea gonna fix everything.
I tell it's vital.
If you're late on your car payment, drink ginger tea.
What? I never heard that one before. Put your coconut oil in everything.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was nutrition and health was instilled with me from very young. For example, like my parents, what they used to do, if we wanted juice, they would say, okay, but have a cup of water first. And then by the time we drink the water, we don't even want the juice anymore. So like, for example, like my sisters and I, there's like a 3-year age difference. We can all wear each other's clothes because we all like stay kind of the same. Like we all eat very similarly.
Okay.
So it's important to me because I want to live as long as possible. I don't want to die prematurely. I work at an office where I see a lot of people come in who are sick with things that they don't need to be sick with.
Okay.
You know? So it's important to me because I just want to get the most use out of this body that I can. And as far as doing God's work, you don't want to do that with a sick body. He wants you to do it with a healthy body.
Yes, I love that component to it. So why should nutrition be important to someone else? So we know why it's important to you and why you decided to become plant-based. Now, if you were talking to someone else, how would you advocate for nutrition, just taking care of your body?
So that's a hard one. That's a very hard one because I was looking at some sort of survey or something, and they asked people if they would rather eat cleaner or eat what they want and live shorter. And majority of them said they would rather just eat what they want to live shorter.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting, and that's why I think that this is one of the things that people don't want to let go. If they're it's almost like a comfort for a lot of people, right? It's like when you grew up, this is what you're used to, and the food tastes good. So I think one more time, you said how would I like minister to someone?
Right. Someone who, let's say someone comes to you and they want to live a healthier lifestyle. They want to know how to do it, but they're not really convinced that this is the route that they want to go. How would you convince them?
How would I convince? So I've actually had this situation a few times in my life. So because I like to post my food sometimes, the things that I make.
We can cook, y'all.
Thank you, friend. So I post it sometimes, and sometimes I'll get responses, and they'll say, you know, can you help me do so and so and so. The number one thing that I do when they ask, I say, just add in broccoli to your meal, or add in this to your meal. I don't say make a whole change right away, because that's not realistic really for most people.
I like that.
Yeah. Just add in one thing at a time, and then once they add it in, I say check in with me, and then we'll see from there. Now, I haven't had anyone check in back with me yet.
Guys,
unfortunately.
check back in with her.
No, because again, changing your food, that's one of the hardest things to change.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's like I try to keep it simple, try to keep it bite-sized so that it's palatable, but no one has come back like, all right, Aubrey, I did this. All right, what's next? I wonder why they haven't came back. I wonder, did they actually implement it or maybe forgot? But that would be an interesting follow-up. So another question for you, Aubrey, is, so talk to me about, so this is the healing room, and I want to know, how do you think that nutrition, what's its impact on the mental health? Because we know, well, talk to us about the physical health first, and then we can go into the mental health. Okay, physical health.
Yeah. So
nutrition can affect so much of your life physically. So everything that you do in life, period, there's an effect from like the things that you're putting in your body. It can affect whether or not you want to get up and go for a run. It can affect whether or not there's so many things. It touches so many parts of the life. I like to do this thing called What My Body Likes.
Okay.
And you can write it down or you can say it in your head. And this is just, again, how nutrition affects the body physically.
Okay, pause. What your body likes.
What my body likes.
Can you talk to me a little bit about that? Because, so we're talking about nutrition and our body. Do we naturally want something healthy?
No,
we don't.
No.
So am I going to always listen to my body?
No.
So talk to me. How do you manage that balance? How do you get that balance? Okay, so I want this ice cream. It looks so good. I want to have this boba tea. I'm sorry, I just called all my boba lovers out. I love boba tea, but I know. But it is made from a plant, taro. Okay. So how do you balance that out? What's your body? Is it want or need?
I like the word likes.
Okay, likes. Okay, what your body likes.
Because you'll find that what your body likes is what your body needs. Because here's the thing, before I even get into that, there's this thing around being plant-based or vegan that the food has to be boring or the food has to taste like cardboard. That's not the case. The only thing is a lot of it is going to involve you making your own food if you really want to have a good wholesome meal that's going to benefit your body. So that takes work. So there's that. And so just in terms of what my body likes, for example, I say I don't use need, or what did you say? You said is it need
versus
or
want,
versus,
right?
Yeah, because I think they all end up merging together. For example, we all know.
I see what you're going.
You see where I'm going.
Yeah, I do.
So we know, like, okay, if you eat something, sometimes I've seen people. I have a coworker at work. Her son is lactose intolerant, but he loves pizza. He loves pizza. So what he does, he'll eat the pizza and then he'll take, what is it, antacid, whatever you take to get rid of that feeling afterwards. He'll take that right after. That's common sense that your body doesn't like that. Your body doesn't like that. And even if you're spending more than food, like I could say my body likes when I go to bed at 9, when I wake up at 5. My body likes when I do a little exercise in the morning, and then when I eat a big meal. Like my body likes whole foods, all these kind of things. Like you'll know what your body likes based on the amount of pushback and resistance that you're getting from your body. Yeah, because a lot of times we will bypass that because something tastes good, and that's why I think with food you got to be very careful how you're ministering to someone or sharing things with someone about food, because it's not the easiest.
It's not, and I agree. Yeah. It's one of those touchy subjects, because I know when I tell people, I feel like everything in society is becoming a touchy subject. But it is. Because when I say, I don't eat that, why you don't eat that? Yeah. What happened? Yeah. And I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and they were asking me, why did you stick to your diet? And I had to say, I said, you know what? It stopped becoming about. Of course, it's about what I put in my body, but then it became about my mind. It became about self-control. So I find that nutrition, how we eat, it's just widespread all over. So it's not just about how I am physically, it's how I am mentally, it's how I approach life, it's how I make decisions. Exactly. Because if I just feel like eating this I'm gonna eat this right now because I want to eat it right now, but I just ate a big meal. So then we're talking about how fast our body breaks food down and what I'm putting in my body. So it's just a whole.
It's a whole thing. So and you got to remember, your body runs on precision balance, right? So if you're eating poorly, that means that you're going to be deficient in certain things. Your body needs a certain amount of things like iron, calcium, all these things. It needs a certain amount of things to be functioning at full capacity. Right. When your body is not functioning at its full capacity, that's when you start looking at your mental health issues, your this issues, your that issues, because deficiency, it's not just going to stay in the stomach. It's going to start affecting everything.
Okay. I love that, Aubrey. So she was just saying that you don't only see it physically, you see it mentally. Can you touch on that a little bit more? So what foods would you say contributes more to a good mental health, whereas food that contributes to maybe a bad mental health?
I'd say foods, I'd say like you'd want to keep it, first of all, in the category of all things whole, mostly. Some kinds of foods, I always say you want to make sure you get something green in your diet at least once a day if possible. It could be broccoli, it could be kale. A lot of people don't like kale. If you don't like the taste, throw it in a smoothie, put some agave, get rid of the taste.
Right.
You want to make sure that you have a good carb. And when I say that, it's because we have so many carbs that are available to us nowadays that are not good. We have fries. You could just stop at Wendy's. We have pizza.
The potatoes are good.
You're right.
I guess then it boils down to how you prepare it.
How you prepare is very important. And a lot of times you'll notice, like, for example, to my Caribbean people watching, fried plantain versus baked plantain, that doesn't taste the same. Right? But
which one do you prefer?
Which one do I prefer? I prefer baked.
Okay.
I
wasn't expecting.
Yeah, but it's not really because taste wise, and that's the thing. I really think God has brought me to a point where it's like my body and me, I'll look past taste of certain things because I'm just like, I want my body to feel right. Like, for example, I know how much my body can take. So it's like if I'm sitting down at a Jamaican meal, I can't eat 2 fried dumplings with whatever else I'm eating, because then I'm gonna just feel down for the rest of the day.
I'm feeling inspired because my plate with fried dumplings, she said 2.
2, yeah.
Like 6. Like big dumplings?
Not 6.
I do. So now, but continue. I'm sorry, Arby. Continue. But you're inspiring me to actually like look out for those things. And you said something that I like. You said you now look past the taste.
Yes.
You're now thinking about how does it make your body feel? What does your body need? What does your body like? So yes, thank you. Continue.
So another thing you want to get is minerals. You want to make sure you're getting your minerals. A lot of times, first of all, you get a lot of minerals when you buy things organic. Second of all, have you seen these prices?
Yes, that's a whole
No.
So you advocate for organic?
I mean, I don't. I mean, no. If you got it like that, please do it. But I don't, you know? So sometimes if I see something and all these are organic, I'll snatch it out, you know, whatever the case. But you want to get organic because you want to get the minerals in your body. Okay. Now, what I found, because I can't buy everything organic, instead what I do, you can get something, for example, nettle tea. Nettle tea has a lot of minerals that you can use that are good and beneficial for your body. You can use the scraps from when you're cutting vegetables for whatever. Save the scraps in your freezer, your fridge, and then when you have a good bag of it, make a broth. You get all the minerals from that, but you also don't want to make sure that's organic too, because you don't want the pesticides seeping out. Minerals. So what did I say? I said carbs. I said minerals. You want to make sure you get greens. What else? Protein. Yeah. I think as plant-based and vegan, that is one of the harder ones to get a hold of, because you have to eat a large amount of certain things. But I'd say if you as long as you're building up to a certain level. I think my fiance was saying that the average person needs like 93 grams of protein a day. Okay. I don't know if it's accurate, if I'm remembering it right or not, but yeah, I mean, and I think that's doable, because I'm not a huge fan of supplementing most of the things that you need. Okay. Yeah. Like, do you take a multivitamin?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I forget about them.
They just sit at the bottom of your drawer.
Money wasted.
Yeah, multivitamin. I like to take one, but I prefer when I'm able to get what I need from the foods that I'm making.
Absolutely.
Instead. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, okay. Thank you for that. So you would say, so I have someone who comes to me and they're suffering from different mental health. They're depressed, they're sad, whatever the case may be. Would you first look at their diet?
Would I first look at their diet? No.
Okay.
No, I don't think I would first look at that. I think first I would ask them for some background. Okay. And then get to the diet. Okay. Yeah, because I think a lot of times with mental health, a lot of times people just want to be heard. They just want someone that's going to listen to them and that's going to understand them. So I think leading with that sometimes is better than leading with, okay, let's eat some salad, you know?
That is true. How about a smoothie? Did you drink water today? But you know what? Sometimes that headache is because you haven't drank any water.
Yes. Yes.
Drink water.
Yes. Speaking of a short thing, I was on the plane this past weekend.
She's always on a plane. Continue.
And I had that morning. See, I've started to know my body very well, so I know what it needs and doesn't need. That morning, I only had a little sip of water, and then I had my bagel, whatever, because I'm like, I want to make sure I get food before I get on the plane. I usually drink more water than what I drank, literally just a gulp. And so I'm on the plane, and we're starting to descend. And I feel like I'm starting to descend. Like I start, like I'm almost about to faint on the plane, and I'm just like, oh no. And I'm thinking, I'm like, oh yes, because I didn't drink enough water. So I called the the attendant, and I was like, can I buy water, please? And she's like, yeah. Okay. No, she was pouring on the night. I was like, can I get water? And so she gives it to me, and she's just like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I just didn't drink a lot of water this morning. So it's really good to know your body as well. Water. It, like when you have headaches sometimes, when you're feeling different ways sometimes, a lot of times it is because you're not getting enough water.
Right. Man, I love that you said that. In order to, because you knew what was wrong, you knew what you can ask for. So Aubrey, before we wrap this up, any tips for the people out there that want to maybe do a lifestyle change, maybe do a diet change, maybe they're feeling a little bit down and they're noticing that maybe they're just eating pizza and fries and all these things, and we know that in moderation we're not going to have those every day, but we know that sugar, all these content, they can eventually wear on the mind. Because any tips for the people?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say tip is to first just always try to add something healthy into your diet. If your diet at dinner is some Cheetos and some ribs and a cupcake, just add some broccoli to that. Start like that. I was watching Randy Skeet this morning, actually, and he was talking about a lot of times we think we have to be perfect to come to God, for example. But he's like, no, come with the cigarettes in your pocket. Come with the condoms in your pocket. Come exactly how you are, because God, he'll fix you exactly how you are. So if you try and do cold turkey, some people have that kind of mindset where they're able to, but again, you want to make sure that it's genuine and something that you want to do. Otherwise, you're just going to end up falling back from it. You want to see the importance in it and not just do it because of any other reason. It has to be coming from you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Aubrey. Thank you for joining us for another podcast. And we'll see you guys next time for our next episode. Have a great week, guys.
Bye.